if you guys can please tell me who's on the other end. I don't necessarily have a list of all the connected individuals, so I'd like to know who is present, please, starting with the full protection people, if possible.
Okay, we have connected Selwyn Moore, and we have Janet Espinola, we have Katrina, Guillermo Valdez is also with us, Damian Atwell, Ed Rodriguez.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, nice to talk to some of you again. Some of you already know me, and the other person that's here with me is Edwin Vargas. Edwin, I'm going to let him talk about himself a little bit. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Is everyone okay with English? That's the language we chose for this, but if anybody has a specific question that wants to ask in Spanish, you guys know I'm bilingual, so please go ahead. As I was saying, Edwin Vargas is the application engineer assigned to my region as well as Central America and I believe South America as well, or Southern region. Edwin, please correct me if I'm wrong. And basically, he's going to cover more of the technical aspects of the product, and obviously, if we have any technical questions, and I'll cover some of the commercial side of things, okay? We're going to focus a little bit on, well, definitely entirely on UltraSync, but more specifically on some ways of selling it and ways of presenting the product out there. This is just the beginning of a series of webinar or information that we want to put out there for you guys. So, like I said, some of you already know me. I'm going to speak a little bit about the company so you guys know who's backing up Interlogix. A lot of people, okay, so some of you know I'm the RSM. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Caribbean, for Interlogix specifically. And a lot of you already been working with Interlogix for many years, back in the legacy years when it was GE or even, you know, before that. Some of you caught on to where the networks panels or to the CADX, jumped on the CADX wagon, let's call it that way. But some of you have fallen off here and there for many reasons, okay? We're not going to point fingers today, but when I do come and visit you at your countries, which is going to be very soon, please feel free to save all the complaining you want for that, and I'll take it. For now, I want to show you who's backing us up. And give you a little bit more about the product and how to sell it. So United Technologies, you already know that is, let's say, the umbrella company. We're a Fortune 50 company, and sales in United Technologies are actually way over $60 billion. We're about $100 billion if you put everything together globally. Okay, so we're, as some of you already know, we're a fairly large corporation with presence in many different sectors like the aircraft engines and aerospace systems, HVAC, elevators, you know, fire and security system, which is the division we belong to, and, you know, anything smart buildings. So part of the big picture that we're sharing with a lot of our customers and end users as well is showing you guys, like I just said, the big picture, right? Showing you that we can deliver integrated services and products. So have that one point of contact, to have that one company that resolves everything for you, whether it's from the distribution point of view or even to the end, obviously to the enterprise solution as well. Interlogix itself belongs to a CCS, which is this building that I'm in right now. It's dedicated to climate control and security. Our world headquarters here in Palm Beach Gardens is a building that's too large. I don't know how many square feet it is, like in the thousands, of course. But just to kind of give you an idea of the commitment that Interlogix has put into just the climate control security division, this is a $120 million building I'm sitting in right now. So it kind of reflects the commitment from the higher end, right, from the big boys up there, looking at Latin America and also looking at the security as an important division for the company. CCS is divided into, so climate control and security is divided into 3 different sectors, and I'm not going to take too much time on this. I just want to make sure that you guys understand, you know, that we are committed to the brand. Some people out there are saying, oh, because Networks is going away, oh, because Simon, oh, because Concord, you guys are going, I don't know, I've heard. No, we're not going anywhere. Okay, so climate control has the AC and the carrier air conditioning system, the HVAC, and the automated logics is for, it's kind of like the brain for, let's say, hospitality or any division or any vertical that uses automation, like hardcore automation. Then we have the fire, which is the Edwards, the Kitted. Some of you already know and work with these products, and Marriott for extension. And then in the security, which is where I belong, and then you have Lenel, Interlogix, Onity, and Supra. Amazing products. I mean, this is a hell of a combination, guys. From the smallest of your projects to your largest enterprise projects, we've got you covered. Some of you already work with the Lenel. Some of you, been working with Interlogix for a long time and are, going to switch or whatnot. UltraSync is a product that is fairly new to us. I mean, it's been in development. It's been out itself for I believe a couple of years, since 2016, I believe. And well, some of you know that I've been in the industry for a while, but I've only been with UTC for 2-3 months. So pardon any any mistakes for now. However, yeah, UltraSync is one of our latest products added to our collection, and it's guided a lot, guys, towards the future. Okay, towards the handheld. As you can see here, I mean, you have a phone and you have an iPad, and then you have the hub, which is the panel. So basically, the idea that the main idea that I want you to get for the takeaways from this presentation are, first of all, obviously, what is the product and how to sell it, and how is it relevant to the IoT world, right? The Internet of Things, which is it's a thing that's coming. It's a wave that is already here, actually, and some of us are denying or rejecting to see it and to turn that way, and so the people that are here, I believe, understand that they need a product to engage to say the millennials or this wave of new people, newcomers, and new users and new style of using of products and services, including the security world. So if I talk too much, just shut me up, somebody. But basically, that is the main takeaways from here. We need to switch our gears from the traditional alarm selling point to services-based sales. Okay. Yesterday, I had a very interesting conversation with Cooper Briscoe, which is he's a product manager based out of Costa Mesa, California, where the stuff is really happening, where the action is really happening. And we had a very interesting conversation. And part of what I took away from that is we need to start educating our customers and our end users in general, right? How to take advantage of these IoT solutions, and smart home is one of them. Okay. All right, so this is a video. I just kind of want you to see to get the picture, and if you,
it's more than just connectivity.
It's pretty short.
It's technology designed for the way you live. The UltraSync smart home system lets you manage security and other home systems like lighting and thermostats from your smartphone or tablet. Receive a text alert when the kids get home. Check in on contractors, or see how your pets are behaving through live streaming video. Create codes for people who need temporary access. With UltraSync, you'll enjoy complete home protection from the inside out. You can also sync other home systems with your daily routine, and let UltraSync welcome you home by automatically opening the garage and turning on the lights as you arrive. It can even perform specific actions at a certain time each night, like shutting the garage door, locking doors, turning off lights, and adjusting the thermostat. Plus, we support other devices as part of the UltraSync smart home, so you can design the system you want. And know it's built on proven technology that's been sold in over 5 million locations across the U.S. UltraSync, built for life, designed for you.
Okay, so that was short, not so painful. What is UltraSync? What is the basics of it? Well, as we already learned, it's a hub that it's basically an open system. It communicates with other smart devices, and it makes your life easier, okay? One of the major properties, I guess you could say, or qualities, is the automation. I also know some companies, some developing companies here in Miami who make residential development. And a lot of them are being nowadays, like one of the selling points of these homes are the smart home quality, right? So they go out already, smart home, quote unquote. But when I was talking to this gentleman here, and he starts mentioning like 4 or 5 different systems, and none of them actually have security. So in reality, they spend weeks, even a month or a couple of months trying to put these systems together with different wires and whatnot, when it could be a lot simpler. And just to give you guys an idea, I mean, he loved the idea of having just one hub that controls everything. So that is UltraSync. I mean, that is UltraSync. Okay, it's first a security wireless panel, and then with a built-in browser, which then connects to the other smart devices. Okay, a little bit of what's inside. Key point here is native IP or Ethernet. You could connect it with a wire or just straight wireless. Easy peasy for the self-monitoring customers, which is a voice-guided menu. It tells you what to do, when to do it, so it's very easy installation, very quick. And you have additional extra pieces such as the handheld or touchscreen pad, which is part of the products, the optional devices that you can have with this. But ideally, this will be a system that you manage from your phone. Okay, that is the whole idea. A little bit of comparison, because most of the time we're going to talk about the self-contained hub, which is this one on the right. But you also have a modular version, which, as you can see, the differences are huge. This is more guided. The hub is more residential and small commercial, small businesses, right? You have, I believe, it's 4 partitions. Yeah, 4 partitions. So I don't know, in a small building or multi-tenant, how we call it in Latin America, where let's say you have a couple of businesses occupying the building, then you can easily deploy this system. Or you can have for a mall or a building, a residential building or residential, how do you call those that we have here in Florida? We just a bunch of houses put in together. You can use this. It's 500 sensors, or total 500. It could be wireless, and you have 192 wireless, and 500 wired zones. Up to 16 cameras. That's a big differentiator with our competitors. Some of them get up to 8 cameras, I believe. But in our case, we have 16 cameras, 16 IP cameras. Yes, to answer the future question, it is our cameras for now. Okay. There's other ways to integrate this system to a pre-existing application of CCTV IP cameras, but not directly with the UltraSync. You can do it in other ways with other integration, like for example, TrueVision Navigator, and then integrating it with Advisor Advanced. I don't know. I mean, that's just something that's coming out on top of my head. Well, Edwin, you can elaborate a little bit more if anybody has any questions on how to integrate this with other IP cameras, or any other out there. So this is some of the specs, right, the hard specs on each of the devices, but today we're going to concentrate a little bit more on the self-contained hub, which is this one right here. Okay. Oh, the panel comes with Z-Wave standard, so you don't have to buy an additional. An idea here for you guys who are probably already working with other brands, and if you're not, then you're probably working with networks or something like that, of that, a traditional alarm panel with the traditional expander with the traditional communicator modules. In our case, in the self-contained hub, when you guys start checking out the prices, keep that in mind, please. It already comes, this particular unit comes with the IP, and it comes with Z-Wave. What is optional is a cellular backup, okay? All right. This unit is UL listed, by the way. Look, see, both of them, actually. The UL residential and UL fire, for residential burglar and for residential fire as well. And ULC commercial as well, or US commercial. Okay, so very simple. Why UltraSync, right? One of the main, the basic answers to that is because of the speed. Because we have computing done at the panel, as I mentioned earlier, we have the computer at the panel. We don't need to do the computing in the cloud like our competitors do. So by the time it gets down here, it's time. I mean, we're talking seconds, right? But that matters when you're saving lives, as we all already know. It is the perfect ecosystem. It is the perfect ecosystem basically to initiate either your companies or your clients or your database into the IoT world. It is simple enough to do it yourself kind of solution because of the native IP, but it can also be applied to complex solutions, like I said, the malls, multi-tenants, and whatnot. That's pertaining to the modular unit. So basically, one of the main points here is the speed. Okay, we get the answer faster. So for deployment of armed forces or whatnot, then you have it's faster. It's more reliable. The product uses. Actually, can you guys give me 1 second because I need to connect my power cord. Sorry. Camila, or Andrea, do we have any questions for now? Has anybody raised a hand? Can we use this time right now while I connect the
No, we don't have questions.
Well,
Okay, just now somebody wrote something. Macy Technologies, Guyana, they will be interested in more details about the connection with the CCTV system and also what would be the minimum bandwidth required for the system to be deployed on the Wi-Fi.
That's a very good question, and I actually have a list that I put together personally of some of the requirements that you may want to have in terms of not server, what do you call, router, and the type of router that you have to have, what's the other thing that you call?
Ellie,
the modems, or basically go ahead.
What?
You were saying something?
Is you want, when you finish, it's possible for me complete the answer for Macy Technologies?
I actually, I mean, what I was going to say is that I have a list of requirements that you guys might want to take a look at before deploying the application, or infrastructure-wise, what does the customer have already in place, or what you might want to suggest for them in order to be able to withstand the bandwidth. But now, the question for them would be, and we can take this towards the end or talk about it afterwards. The question here would be, are we talking about the cameras the cameras that go with the UltraSync, let's just call them the UltraSync cameras, or are we talking about on-beef compatibility or on-beef application? That would be the question. And depending on that, then we suggest one thing or the other.
Okay, well, when you use the UltraSync cameras, the bandwidth that you need is really small. Maybe could you use the 2 megabytes because it's possible for you configure the streaming that you use when you put the cameras in the cloud. But really, no, it's necessary to have a big capacity or wide capacity of the bandwidth because it's possible for you configure the stream. I mean the frames, I mean the resolution, I mean the
Now, I want to add something there, Edwin, please, if I may.
Yeah?
This is why I said that we can talk about this afterwards, because it really depends on the application. If we're talking about UltraSync cameras themselves, the cameras come with an SD card, okay? Depending on how many megapixels, I think the 1.3 megapixel comes with a 32, I think, and then the other one comes with a 64. So basically, what you're going to be getting in your phone are notifications. You're going to get 15-second clips, right? You're not constantly viewing the cameras unless you want to go in and look at it. But that's something we'll talk about. We'll talk about a little bit further into the presentation. What the resources are that you need to have in order to maintain to be able to view. Now, through cellular backup, that's the only thing you won't be able to do. I'll just cut straight to the chase. I'll tell you right now. Through cellular backup, because of that same situation, because of the bandwidth, you're not going to be able to, you're going to get the alarm, you're going to get the alert, you're going to get the message, everything that you have set up in your panel, in your hub, and however you want your notifications to come through. The only thing that will not come through and that will stay in the SD card will be the actual event, the video itself, the 15-second clip, and you can choose to log in through a computer from your remote location. Let's say in the case that you are, completely reliant on the cellular backup, and you can extract this information from a computer. Okay, But we can, like I said, we can talk about it a little bit further. We might be going the direction that you're thinking, we might not, so it's hard because we don't have a two-way communication.
We have a,
go ahead.
A last question. The client needs to pay for the app?
We'll get to that, and that's where this is right here, the RMR, the reoccurring monthly revenue. So remember when I mentioned to you guys earlier that we need to stop thinking about selling devices and start selling services? Well, the application, to answer your short answer, yes. Yes, just like I pay for Ipsy, which delivers makeup to my house every month, just like I pay for Prime, just like I pay for Netflix, just like we pay for convenience, right? In our case, it's no different. We're paying for Amazon Cloud Services as well as Google. I forgot what they're called, what their cloud service is called, but X. It's our backup. Basically, we're paying for that. There's a huge amount of development and code writing, and obviously personnel that works into the solution to provide that solution for you. So yeah, somebody has to pay for it. So it is a monthly reoccurring fee that we can talk about afterwards. But yes, technically you do pay, but you're paying for the SIM card. You're paying for the cellular backup. It's the only one. IP communication is completely free. Actually, yeah. Thank you, Edwin. The IP communication is completely free. It's free from me to full protection. It's free from me to anybody who's going to do the business directly with us, who's signing the contract, okay? Whether or not the monitoring station wants to charge their client for that or that, dissolve it within that service fee that you guys are doing a month, then you can. One thing I want to make, obviously we can read off here. We can say robust and expanding, convenience, RMR, simple yet sophisticated, and home user experience. Yeah, that is valid. And the choices, of course. I mean, we have companies in the United States like ADT, Vivint, Comcast, Brinks. I mean, I don't know, you name it. They are gaining steam by the day with this smart home solutions, right? This is the new it. I mean, Best Buy, when you guys come here and you go to Best Buy, you go to BrandSmart, that is what's selling nowadays, the Alexas, the Google Rings of the world. Don't be scared, actually, because even though the big players like Google and Amazon are into this space already, what it's doing is actually creating a bigger need for you, because still the vast majority of people are not techie, and the vast majority of people don't know what they're doing. So they're seeing the movement, but they don't know who to go to, and they don't know how to do it themselves. So in my personal very humble, young, not having been around this industry for many years like you guys have been, as a millennial, I'll say something. Yeah, we're cool, but personally, I mean, I still don't want to deal with this stuff either. I will still call a service company to come and install. And I'm a millennial, in case you didn't know. But I'll be the only one to laugh about that. But yeah, I mean, there's a growing need for this and an increasing wave of confused customers that won't know where to go, and that's when you guys come in. Because the first thing the first thing I see when I sit in front of a customer, we talk about DIYs, they're like, oh my God, they're taking my business. And it's not the case. So it's not that UTC is against you, it's that UTC wants you to be in the future and wants you wants to make it easier for you. So that's just one of the points I wanted to make in this slide. I don't know if anybody else has a question about this. Why is it convenient? It's not just a stupid word that's put out there or a meaningless word. It is actually very meaningful. With the portal that you guys will manage in each of their different levels that you can access, and I'll talk about that in the future and just ahead. Convenience, why? Because of the remote programming. Let me see. I think I have here. Here's some of the things that you can do through the portal, which is what you guys really want to pay attention to. What really matters to you. What gives you back. What saves you money. What saves you headaches, basically. Obviously, you could create sites. You can do firmware upgrades. Depending on who you are, okay? And we can, again, if you have any questions, please pop them up. I just want to know what you guys are thinking. But there's different entities related to this, right? The entities that we work with, and this is something kind of not new to me, but it was refreshed yesterday by Cooper Briscoe, and he had a really good point. Since we're selling services here, we are mainly focused on the company that's going to be selling the service. despite on who's going to move the hardware. Okay, so think creatively in that sense. What do I mean by who sells services and why is it so important? Because the way we set up the customers and the clients in the cloud, the accesses that we give you are directly related to a commitment from you, from the customer, to responding to UTC when it comes to those monthly, reoccurring revenue. So if, let's say, use a hypothetical situation on full protection will become our client, and they will be I believe it's here, they will be a system administrator, and then they will have a central monitoring station, which is the dealer. However, we also can do the deal, we can work directly with the dealer, and the dealer, don't mind this one, but the dealer, in this case a central monitoring station, will report directly to us. And you guys will be directly responsible, whether it's here or here, who we're negotiating with, will be directly responsible for billing the customer and paying us in a monthly manner, okay? However, obviously we do provide the workflows and everything within the portal itself. I'll go here in just a minute and we'll talk about that, but let's stay here for a little bit longer. Does anybody have any questions, Camila? Or Andrea?
Yes. Can this system be compatible with other CCTV IP systems?
Actually, yes and no and yes. Why? If you want to hook them directly to UltraSync has already cameras, okay? It has 3 models of cameras, okay? Same as our competitors. But if you are talking about an existing application and you have a building, there's ways to go around that. Edwin, I don't know if you want to add a little bit more of a technical answer to that.
Yeah, well, really no it's possible connect other brands of the cameras. Only it's possible use our brand.
Okay, in an integrated project and something bigger that we could do, I don't know, perhaps through TrueVision Navigator. Because the thing about TrueVision Navigator is that it integrates, and that's going to be in next week's presentation. We're going to talk about TrueVision Navigator 8.0, which integrates UltraSync, our IFS products, which are the network switches and all the fiber switches and all that. It integrates, obviously, the TrueVision cameras and TrueVision NVRs, and it also integrates TruePoral. So you have 4 different platforms in one. There might be a way where we could do something to relate a camera to an alarm. Essentially, that's what you guys need. Am I right?
Yeah, it's possible to do that.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
Now, I want to ask, I want to generate other explanation. In the camera, it's possible to use the protocol. The name is ONBIT. But in this case, no, it's possible to connect that camera using that protocol. The unique cameras possible connect to our hub. It's our brand. The brand is TrueVision, but no, it's possible to connect other brands.
Okay. So does that answer your question, or the question?
Okay, Janet, you can let us know in the chat if that answer. Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So yes and no. That's a very complicated answer, but you have it. Again, we can elaborate on this by all means. My contact information will be at the end, so please feel free to call me, or if I need more help, if I need any help, I'll bring in Edwin or anybody else that may be necessary. In this slide, we're basically showing you the types of communications that we're handling or working with in the home and outside of the home. The 319 megahertz, that is proprietary of UTC, and that is another example of how we are helping you guys. I don't know if you guys are all, or any of you are aware of a new regulation that's out there. It's the GDPR regulation. It's the General Data Protection Regulation. I don't know if it has hit Latin America yet, but here in the U.S. it certainly has. It's a regulation that protects it's a law basically that protects the information, the privacy of the individual. Because obviously the growing IoT industry, everybody has concerns. Is my house, I mean, yeah, coño, everybody, I can see everything that's going on. I can share information. My panel can talk to my neighbor, for the love of God. I mean, how safe are we really? And not only that, but hackers, that's a big concern for some people and for someone who has something to hide, I guess. But the 319, that communication protocol is basically our way of for you to comply, okay, with this new law or regulation. So that would be one route that you can take it. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure everybody has their own, but we are proprietary and encrypted end-to-end communication. So no one's going to hack your cameras, no one's going to hack your anything. And it's just as safe as your home security, as your home internet service or home provider, home internet provider, really. I mean, how secure is that? That's basically also another point of view as well. We already talked a little bit about this. Edwin, I don't know if you have anything specific to say here, but the flexibility.
Well, you check in this graphic in the left, could you see the standard security panel? But in this case, it's possible to find a big important characteristic. It's possible to connect other brands and check the connection in the cellular phone. But in this graphic, it's possible to see that computing information is generated for other brands. But if you check in the right, it's possible, for example, check our hub and our home have the web server include, and he takes the decision. That's why it's possible, for example, replicate that decision in the cloud and generate the response in real time. It's really
efficient. It's efficient, and it's right. It's much faster than our competition. Much faster, because the cloud is only used here as a mirror. Is used as actually transportation. You'll see what I mean by that in a few slides ahead. Essentially, what I want to say, and it's important, and if you guys are thinking it, I hope I can answer that. The cloud, in the point of view of the central monitoring stations, that really the most important thing to you guys is your database, your customers, right? The cloud doesn't keep any of that information. The cloud, what does is analyzes data that's generated, like themes, like user interactions, which at the end should be what should be focused on. The interactions that create experiences where emerging market segments come from. I'll explain a little bit more on that ahead. But so here, it's a basic graphic of the communication. For those of you who have central monitoring stations, you're going to want to focus on this bad boy right here, and I'll give you a heads up on that. So just running through it, the intrusion is generated at the panel, of course, whether it be through Ethernet or Wi-Fi to the router, which then talks to the cloud, or through cellular backup, okay, which simultaneously talks to the application here. I should have put another one here with a phone. So yeah, simultaneously talks to the phone, and sends a message in an UltraSync language, okay, through here, through encrypted IP. The protocol, so the communication could be sent via IP, or it could be sent through serial converter. But here's the detail. In order for the monitoring software to receive the UltraSync pulse or the notification, it must be decrypted. Okay, because everything is encrypted up until this point. So you need to decrypt it in order to receive that notification. So that's where you need the sonic walls, all right? Unless you're using Mastermind. In the case that you're using Mastermind, and if you don't even know about that, don't worry for now. But Mastermind is a super mega product that we also have, which is for central monitoring stations. I don't know, with customers like Chase, like Walmart, like, banks, like major banks in the world, all globally. But anyway, so unless you're using Mastermind, you will need a sonic wall. That is when you're going to be receiving the alarms directly from the panels, okay? So if you are a distributor who's interested in just picking up the reoccurring revenue or just distributing the product, but you don't necessarily want to be part of the RMR, or you don't want to receive the notification, you don't want to, so you're not in the business of alarm monitoring, then this part is not for you. But if you are in the monitoring, then this will be for you. You do need that, okay? Again, I'm going to mention it, all the customer and clients and users information is stored in the panel right here, because this is where you have to do the initial programming, and in the monitoring station software. We don't keep any information anywhere here. Again, the cloud only analyzes and plays with and works with the data, the raw data that we produce as users, not necessarily the users' particular information, or personal information, I should say. Okay? So that's important, because we're not going to be stealing your customers and nobody else's. And if you have a customer under you, a central monitoring station under you, and they decide to switch, that's also, you know, a question that comes up. So there's different levels to the administration of the platform, like such, right? This is the application. Just some screenshots. It was recently redone, like updated, and it's super smooth. It's beautiful. The GUI is really nice. It's up to date. I mean, it's not clunky and old school. To answer maybe another question you guys might be thinking about, you can white brand this. It can literally show up, like, I'm just going to use the full protection example again. It could say full protection monitoring or LE's monitoring, and when you go, obviously that has a cost related to that, to the white branding, as you guys already know. But I mean, when I talk to my customers, and I'm kind of laid back like that, like I'm like, look, the thing is already figured out. Why are you going to try to reinvent the wheel? Just use what we have. The application is perfect, spotless. And that is another thing that, to cover the question about the RMR earlier, and it kind of goes tied into this slide as well, which is the services. When you're paying for the services, you're paying for that application. So in the moment that you say, oh, because this has happened to us before, and you guys might be thinking about it as well. Oh, I want your hardware, but let me go ahead and develop the application myself. Oh, yeah, that's very nice. No. It's just, we cannot guarantee the level of performance by letting you develop that. And at the same time, again, why try to reinvent the wheel? It's already invented. Take advantage of it. Use it and explode it, you know? Okay, so more focused on the services, the portal, which we kind of covered earlier, and we'll cover in more details here. This is a screenshot from a live screenshot that we had, like, from when we started. But so here are the more service-related key points. Is there a question? Sorry.
No.
Okay. So the portal basically is a great tool, which the main function is to significantly, and you guys are going to love this, is to reduce the infrastructure costs related to deploying smart building or IoT solutions. Like I mentioned earlier, these people here that I met recently, I mean, they're sending one guy for the router, another guy for the special cable, another guy for the cameras, another guy for the panel, for the security panel, another guy for the Z-Wave devices, or another guy for, I don't know, there's so many things that go into a smart home solution that it can require a lot of resources from your company. But when you have the portal, it's going to be a lot easier. Right? Content library, that's basically for you to educate yourself, and your customer can receive, like, you don't have to be calling tech support so much. If you don't know something, it'll be in the content library as far as the applications or how to do something. The dashboard is what shows you current, to-date information, statistics about your client database. This is amazing when it comes to creating initiatives for your company or marketing strategies. That is key, because I would say the most important thing to keep in mind in today's world in the business is to stay ahead of the game, right? So one of the things that comes into play here too, and I want to mention, is that we have 3 service releases a year, And when you're part of our data, when you're part of our platform and when you're in the portal, you receive these notifications of basically what is coming. So it allows your company to start strategizing, you know, when it's for next season, what are we going to release? I mean, what has been used the most here? What kind of loyalty programs can we come up with, and things of that sort. So you know, that's important. And the key word here again, guys, is services. We need to take away our head from the, you know, the device sales to selling services. I mean, it's a business model that uses you guys know what services selling is basically, but it uses cloud-based platform to collect and analyze data, and then the payment is basically oriented towards that service rather than physical goods. Why is this important, at least to me? Because we need to crack the value code, my friends. We need to stop selling devices. We need to start selling experiences, right? Start selling the integration of all the devices rather than the sum of all of them, right? But the integration, what they do for you. So if I were you, I would go into a house or business, and I'm sure you already do this. I mean, what's important for you? Just like I'm doing for you right now. What matters to you? I mean, saving money, saving energy. I mean, we can make your business energy efficient by controlling your air conditioning. If that's going to save you money, I don't know how much, XX amount of money in a year. I mean, that'll bring up a budget to do something else in the company. And you guys know this much, much better than I do, for sure. So let's not limit the use of this panel to 4 or 5, you know, use cases like we like to do. Oh, so my kid comes from home, comes from the school, which I use. I think it's awesome. Like, as you guys already know, I'm in my position. I have to travel a lot, and I have a teenage daughter who gets home from high school and is usually alone in the house. So what happens? I get a notification when she comes in. I get a video, make sure she's all right and she's not being held at gunpoint by anybody. The lights turn on, the AC goes down because I have it at around 78 during the whole day until we get home, until she gets home, right? It can turn on the TV. It can literally start the microwavable food for her. Since I'm not there. That's messed up, but it's true. So I mean, its efficiency is being practical. It's being what is the word I like to use? Millennial proof, basically. Does anybody have any questions up to this point?
No, we don't have questions.
So yeah, I mean, basically, I guess my message in general will be that our companies, our customers, us, all of us need to start really rethinking, fundamentally rethinking the way that we create value and how we capture that for our customers. I think with that in mind, we're going to achieve a lot more. Remote configuration, again, for your company, deployment, it's going to be faster, easier. You don't have to send guys constantly out there. It saves you gas. It saves you money when you're paying these guys, overtime when they stay too long. I mean, you know exactly what's going on. So, and you have the UltraSync reports as well. It tells you who's on, who's not, who lost connection, etc. I mean, you might have remote locations, which you know that the communication there is not that good, or electricity or power is not that good. It comes and goes. So, you know, you get reports constantly with this. And obviously the system statistics and app usage, that is huge. Again, why is this so important? Ellie is just an app. My God, get over it. It's not. Basically, when we start analyzing the experience, I mean, when we start seeing, okay, this customer or these series of customers, or I don't know, I mean, this elderly home or this daycare or the schools or the apartment buildings, I mean, what is important to them? When you start seeing those patterns, that's the word, patterns, when you start analyzing and identifying these patterns, it will tell you what's important for your customer. And you can build on that. And you can sell them more of that, okay? And companies like us can develop more based on that. So that is why the customer experience in terms of patterns is so important, because that is, like I said earlier, emerging market segments that we need to be aware of in order to sell more, okay? A little bit of a quick view on what the dashboard looks like. So just a quick note, here on the left, you could see some of the options you would have as an administrator. So this would be in a case scenario where a full protection decides to jump on board with the contract with UTC in regards to UltraSync specifically. Obviously, we already work together. Just so you guys know, UltraSync is a different, because of the application, because of the RMR, The business style is a little bit different. So it requires a whole other contract of its own. So let's say that in the case of full protection is the administrator, it's the distributor, what we call services distributor. There's only two terms that we use in UltraSync related. Services distributor, and we use central monitoring station, AKA also known for us as a dealer. There's many combinations of these, and we have to figure out how we want to work and to then proceed. But basically, the administrator, the top guy, the guy that signs the contract with us, will be able to add users. Who are the users? Users and companies. Users and companies are those dealers that are going to work under you, okay? The people that you're going to allow, or the entities, I should say, you're going to allow access to your part of the platform, part of the cloud. So full protection will have a section of the cloud dedicated to them, and they could set different dealers underneath them. And the difference between the two entities is that one will not have access to this part down here. What can the dealer do? The dealer can do, I mean, everything. You can look at the dashboard, the uses, the firmware version, services upgrades, central station account for distribution. Well, actually, I'm sorry, this is something that the administrator would see. You could do things like, okay, so to say the services distributor will see, for example, I don't know how many panels are reporting VIP or GSM. In fact, how many panels are reporting through an NX595E, which is the IP card for the networks. You can even see that here. As a matter of fact, you could see it here. It's pretty cute. There's a little bit of everything there as far as information goes. How many panels are reporting to the central monitoring stations? How many of them are self-monitored? Look at this graphic right here. Another thing, I don't know, how many were added in the last 30 days? You can see down here. I should probably get a couple more screenshots of this. It would be, I think, more interesting. Let me know if you guys agree to have more information on the platform itself. I don't know how many panels are active, the signal strength, the site connectivity stats. There's a lot of information, right? And reports, logs, event history. I mean, it's completely user-friendly as well. Don't do that. Here's a quick screenshot of let's say the different levels as far as the administrators and dealers goes. Like I said, the green one you can ignore for now a little bit. Basically, this is the services distributor, aka someone like Full Protection or even a local company. And then you have the central monitoring stations, which are labeled as dealers for us, okay? The manager levels are set by the dealer. In other words, who can add and remove panels only, okay? This is very straightforward. These are the value propositions that I was put together for the different clients that we may have out there or even here. So we have the monitoring stations. We have basically improved quality, reduce installation time, and reduce cost of monitor accounts. So that saves you money and lets you improve or grow your company. We also deal directly and indirectly with MSOs and telecommunication companies, which nowadays are 2-in-1 and 1-in-2, basically. But this could be an interesting, this product can be an interesting addition to their existing infrastructure or network or database, right, to add to the services and products that they provide. For dealers, a cloud-based service for a complete solution, which you guys may be doing separately right now or struggling to really deliver a complete solution like I just showed you. And then obviously the end users, there's endless benefits, but some of the ones that I put down is just very simple. It's very trustable, the device, because of the encrypted communication. And you have everything you need at home and on the go. Just a graphic to show you some of the key products that we have. This is one of the latest released device, which is a doorbell. The cellular backup module for the hub. This is the touchscreen pad that I told you earlier. This is what the modular hub looks like. And I can send you guys, or anybody who's actually, as a matter of fact, you should have that PDF. I believe Andrea and Camila shared it with you guys. If not, If not, Michelle will have that information, and obviously I have it as well. So please feel free to ask me for any information you guys need. The mobile application, the self-contained hub for the smaller applications, the portal, and the CCTV. So everything you guys need. Any questions? Here's my contact information, my work phone, my personal phone, my email, and my alias name. Because some of you may know my real name. It's not that, but yeah, that's what I have for now. I can open it up for some questions, and then we can jump in. How we're doing on time? I think we have just about an hour completed by me. Edwin has some more technical aspects of the presentation. If you guys want to see it, if you feel like you have some questions and maybe Edwin can answer them right away, we could do that. I mean, floor is open. Let me know. Did you guys understand the information? Was the message clear? How do you feel about the product and about me? Hello. Me colgaron.
Okay, remember that you can use the chat or the Q&A section to write your questions or your comments. Right now we don't have any. Thank you very much, Ellie, for your presentation. So does Edwin gonna start his, or how do you
Edwin, you want to start
do?
with your, I believe some of the information you're going to present I already went over. Could you ask the audience, are we good on time? Do they want us to cut it here? Do you guys want a little bit more tech support or tech explanation?
Yeah, if you want, it's possible for me to explain other characteristics and complement, generic complementation for your presentation. Camila, could you, it's possible for me to be the host?
Yes.
I'm giving it right now.
Thank you.
Yep. You should have it now, Edwin.
How many times can I use?
You can use any time that you want. We don't have a limit. That does depend on the people, if they want to say more or they want to leave. So, but you can go on.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Edwin Vargas. I am an application engineer. Well, it's a pleasure show you this equipment. It's really great. I want generally complement to the presentation of Ellie. UltraSync is just like that. Is a panel of the alarm system. Is the intrusion. Really, this is the content. I want to develop this part of the UltraSync. The UltraSync is very important things. And look at this. In this slide, it's possible for me to explain.
I'm sorry, Ellen. We are not seeing your screen.
Okay. Give me a second, please. Share my screen. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Now we can.
Thank you. Well, this is the content. I want to develop this content in this time. In the beginning, I want to explain the UltraSync in the end user. And the next one, UltraSync in the central, and finally, the UltraSync in the web portal. Basically, when you speak about the UltraSync, you have to think in three topics. I want to explain initially in the end user and check the different components, the different equipment, The next one explain about the web portal. Finally, explain about the central station. If you have any question, please use the chat. Well, give me a second, please. Well, in the end user, it's possible, for example, have the UltraSync Hub. And we have three equipments to connect, three types of the cameras. That cameras is possible connect using the wireless connection. The first model is the doorbell camera. The next one is the box camera. The box camera is possible using in the indoor appliances. The last camera is possible to use the bullet camera. That camera supports the outdoor conditions. And that camera is possible use that or connect that using wireless connection or wire connection. It's possible to use both conditions. And well, I said that, but it's necessary to repeat the next information. Only we can work with these cameras and these models. No, it's possible to connect other brands of cameras using the on-bit protocol. It's only possible to connect our cameras. In this part of the end user, we have a sensor, and it's possible to use that the sensor in the intrusion system. That sensor is possible to connect that using the frequency, the 319.5. And this is a big difference with the other panels. If you check, for example, other brands, it's possible, or you use that, you connect that panel using the 433 frequency, and the other brands all use that the same frequency. That's why it's possible generate delay in the connection, and it's possible lose the connection, the sensors between the sensors and the UltraSync Hub. That's why it's possible use for us the frequency 319.5. And we are the unique brand. We use that frequency, and that's why we have the exclusivity to use that frequency. Our sensors never lost the signal, and the transmission is really clear. Well, our sensor we can use to connect is the C-Wave sensors. These sensors we can work in 4 topics. In the thermostat to control environment. About this, it's possible, for example, put the environment, the cloud environment, the hot environment. It's possible to control the temperature. We can control the locks using, for example, these locks. We use, for example, the Yale brand, and it's possible to do that. We can control the lights using dimmer. You can generate dimmerization with the lights. And it's possible to, for example, in other devices, generate on and off. Basically, with C-Wave, it's possible to control thermostat, locks, light dimmer, and on-off of any or a big quantity of equipment. All devices, cameras, sensors, T-weight sensors, it's possible to connect that using the wireless connection. But of course, the intrusion is necessary to use the frequency 319.5. When you use the automation, it's necessary to use the T-weight frequency. The panel have the option to connect to internet. Necessary, we use the next possibilities. It's possible, for example, connect the panel using the wired connection and the wireless, and finally the 3G and 4G or the GPR. But when you use the 3G or 4G, this is the backup. I mean, if we lost the connection using wire and wireless, immediately it's possible to use the 3G. But when you use the 3G, you generate connection between the central station and the end user, not directly with the user. And with our technology, it's possible to support the cell phones using Android and iOS application. That application is free. And if you generate connection using wire and using wireless, you have the possibility that you don't have to pay nothing. But if you use the 3G and 4G, in that case, it's necessary for you pay for this use. If you like, Elise told you, if you like when you have to use, for example, Netflix or something else. But in this case, only if you use 3G and 4G. But if your connection is unique using wire and wireless, you don't have to pay nothing. Well, when you have the connection with the UltraSync Hub with the cloud using the wireless, wire, and 3G and 4G, you have the other situation, and it's the cloud, the UltraSync cloud. Ellie explained something about that, and I want to explain extend that information. Look at this, please. Give me a second. I want to show you using the Poral. Well, initially, when you receive that connection, you have to use the user to connect to the Poral. In this case, I have to connect. Give me, please, a second. Give me a second. Second, please. Okay, well, in the beginning, it's possible, for example, you can show the dashboard. In that part, you can see the description or summary or some topics. For example, the firmware, the actual version firmware in the hubs. You can check that using the colors. For example, which panel have the current version of the firmware, that panels appear in the blue color, and how which panel were updated. For example, it's possible to check that using the yellow color. And the service categories, it's possible, for example, in this case, check that. And distribution of the accountant, for example, in this place. But in the dashboard, it's possible to check the summary, and it's easy for everybody to check that because only using the graphics. And if you want, for example, go to other place, you only have to generate click, and that graphic have the link, and that link puts you in that information. For example, if you check the self-monitoring, only you have to do click in this graphic. In the left of this screen, it's possible, for example, or check other parts of the web portal. The beginning, for example, the state of the hubs in this part. Let me check, please. In that part, it's possible for you check if the panel for state of have the connection in this moment, and it's easy to really check that because you have different colors to check that information. If you check, for example, the red color in this case, you could see that panel is connected in this moment and has the connection maybe with the internet. But really, when you have the red color, you could see, okay, in this case, for example, this panel don't have connection with internet. But when you have the green color, is you could see the connection between the hub and the internet was released. And in this case, it's possible to find other colors. For example, the gray color. When you have the gray color, it's because you have the option with the hubs to generate some situation. The first situation is enable the panel, enable the hubs. And the second situation is, for example, that enable is possible to deactivate the hub, because if you have the central station, for example, maybe that client he doesn't pay the bill, and it's possible to use that portal to deactivate that account or that hub. And it's possible, for example, delete that hub because the hub he wants to work in other central station. Other characteristics can you use is, for example, generate the remote control of the hub. We can check the signal of the connection in this case and in this graphic. Look at this. I can check the signal of the wireless connection or the wired connection of, for example, the GPRX connection. In this case, the connection is directly using the wire and wireless connection, but if I have the possibility to connect the GPR, or maybe the graphic could be just like I show you in this moment. Generate that situation. In the left of the screen, we can check the state of the connection, about the batteries, the direct connection with the energy and the network. The color, again, that color shows you if the connection was enabled or is generating this moment or not. For example, in this case, we have a connection and the connection is full. The green color shows you that connection, but if the color is red, well, maybe they have the hub and they have all connect, but the hub lost the connection with the internet. In this screen, it's possible to check other characteristics, like MAC address of the camera. That it's necessary for you if you have to generate, for example, one remote support. If you have a technician and he calls you because he needs something to generate reparation in the local site, it's possible for you to give that information for your technician. It's possible to check other characteristics in this link. If you have that hub connect using GPR, it's possible, for example, check the if you have the connection using wire and wireless, you can see the connection as the actual connection, the address generates, and the subnet max, and the gateway, and DNX. And that information is really necessary for the technician, okay? And this is in the local connection. But look at this, you are remotely checking that information, and you could give that information to the technician. Well, in the wireless connection, it's possible to check the information about the connection using GPR. For example, the IMEI and the IMXI, all about the connection using GPR. And the log connection, or the connection log, definitely could show you the connection between the hub and the internet. It's possible, for example, for you to check the address, and that information is necessary for the technician. Okay. Well, other information or other situation can you do is, for example, generate the upload the firmware. You could choose the panel and generate that upgrade, and you could select different hubs and generate that actualization, that upgrade over your hubs. That is a very good characteristic. Well, other characteristic is the control, the remote control. Could you go for this place and register in the hub? When you do that, look at this. This is the program, the local programmation. Well, you use the internet to generate the remote programmation, and this screen is similar in local programmation. That's why it's possible for you to use the Poral to generate the programmation in your hubs using that Poral, and if possible, generate the programmation, that remote programmation. That screen is similar. If you see, for example, the panel in the end user, the technician has to go to the panel using the web local panel. But in this case, I have in the panel, and I could generate the programmation using the web Poral. It's cool, that characteristic. Well, I want to show you other characteristics of the web Poral. Please give me a second. Well, other characteristics is the historic of the event. In this case, it's possible to check the connection between the hub and the automation system. The automation system is the software, and that software is possible for you to check the signals. For example, if you are the system, if you start the system, if you receive any alert, it's possible to check that. But in this case, it's possible to check if the hub has the connection between the hub and the central station. In this case, for example, I don't have connection, so this is the Poral to generate training. But you could see, for example, the number of the accountants. You could see the name of the client. you could see this part is important. The message of generates to that communication. For example, in this case, appear E383. And this is the message generated en route to or about the tamper sensor. And for example, this message, let me see if I could see something different. Sensor tamper. That even have the correspondence with the let me check, please, with other events, for example, of the communication or other things. Well, this is the web forum. I have 5 minutes more. I want to explain only the other characteristics, and I want to finish with that. Well, this is the most important characteristic of the hub. The hub has 256 users, and it's possible to configure that in different users: standard, master, are only, duress, and custom. The panel has 64 wireless sensors plus 20 key fobs. The panel has 4 areas or partition is the same, and you use that characteristic to split your system in a small system. When you have the configuration, it's possible to use the voice guides, and that configuration is possible using your language, Spanish, French, or English. You have the possibility to connect for two hardware inputs, and can be double to generate other or force sounds. This panel has those programmable outputs. You can use that, for example, to connect the siren or the strobe light. The sound of the siren is the 85 dB, and the panel has the battery backup for 24 hours, and the connection is using Wi-Fi, is using wired connection, or using 3G or 4G. The panel works in 3 important aspects, topics. Check this. The first topic is in the smart devices to generate automation. The second part is in intrusion, using intrusion systems, and finally to generate safety in the fire and the lights. The programmation is possible using the tablet and the PC and the smartphone or touch screen. Ellie showed you that before, but that device is possible with that to generate the local programmation. But if you want to generate a remote programmation, it's possible to do that using UltraSync web Poral, or using DLX900. It's other program, and it's possible to install that using Windows and generate remote programmation. We have about the programmation a big quantity of bills to generate that programmation. Let me add one. Well, finally, it's possible to generate streams. In this case, for example, I have the cell phone. Remember that is free, and it's possible to use that in Android and in iOS. In the second time, you have to install the sensors in the home. Finally, in this case, the car is in this area, and when the car appears in this area, the lights turn on the light, if possible, on the light and open the door. This is the screen. Well, we can generate the advanced programmation using the gates. In this case, if I have all areas armed, and if that action is true, it's possible, for example, activate the stove. And other advanced programmation could be if all areas is armed and that one sensor have a fault, that action is true. That generates the activation of the camera. That is the advanced programmation. The application works in Android and iOS, and this is in this slide it's possible check the screen about the application. For example, in this part you can see the overview. You can arm in state or disarm the system. And we have the possibility to generate 16 action. And if you check in this part, you can see the action with the light, the action with the thermostat. You can see the cameras in this place. You could lock, generate door locks, and for example, or generate bypass over the sensors. Well, you could control the system using your tablet, your cell phone, or using this touchscreen. The touchscreen have a 7-inch. Well, this is all. If you, for example, need generate the configuration in the central station, you have to follow these steps. In the step 1, it's only complete this form. You have to give us the company name, the address, the phone number, etc. In the second part, generate the physical connection. Early explained, the connection is possible to generate the IP connection or the serial connection. But if you have a central station and you need our support, we can explain the connection. You don't have to generate something difficult. Well, I have only 3 slides, and I finish with that.
Okay, please, thank you.
Yeah. The 3 steps is connect the Sony wall. The Sony wall is a receiver. That receiver has the possibility to connect using the dynamic public IP address, or that address could be a static public address. The unique important for us is you have to take that using the firewall. If you have the firewall, you can use the dynamic public IP address, static or dynamic. No, it's important for us that only you have to take in your central station firewall. The step 4 is generate the for forwarding or DM steps in your central station. But remember, we can help you with that configuration. In the automation system, for example, Mastermind or Podcast, or well, in the work exists the quantity of that. You have to choose the next option. maybe you can use Surgar and call 685 or here. And finally, in the software, you need, if you, for example, choose Surgar, you need to give that information for the diagram of the automation system. And they have the possibility to generate the connection between our panels and your center. Well, it was that information. You could see it's really easy, and our panels have a big characteristics. If you have something or you need information, you could generate me email me to this. This is my phone. This is my email. And of course, if you need something else, it's possible to speak with Ellie too. Thank you all so much for your time. Maybe if you need some information, please email me. Okay. Maybe do you have any questions?
No, we don't have any questions in the chat. Okay. Does Ellie wants to add something to the presentation?
No, besides the fact that you guys can call me, ask me any questions. I will be I will be heading out to visit, you can call it maybe like a tour. If anybody is interested in having a visit, then please reach out. If you want more information of any kind, please reach out and we can make it happen. Okay?
Okay. Tomorrow we will send you an email with a link to watch the recording of this webinar and also to download the presentation in PDF format. I want to thank you everybody for this time, and to Ellie and Evelyn for the presentation, and have a great day, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camila. Thank you. See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.